will swiftly move on. It's been announced that Paul Tierney will be removed from refereeing this forthcoming weekend. It's been deemed a huge mistake, breach of the law of the game by allowing Liverpool to have the ball after a drop goal. They then go up the other end. From that, they get a corner. From that, they score. And a lot of controversy surrounding that decision. Rory, as a member of the 3-team, maybe 4-team, including Villa, we'll chat about them later, title race, how poor a decision was it for the referee essentially to take the ball off of Forest and give it back to Liverpool in the dying moments of the game?
Yeah, it was shocking. And I know he did it earlier in the game, which some Liverpool fans have said, but he did it then. But that didn't ultimately lead to a goal, and you won't know if that changed anything. And I've seen Liverpool fans trying to play it down. Liverpool fans don't want to admit, okay, we got a bit lucky there, we got away with one. And they've been trying to play it down. It's like, well, hang on. If the ball had come out of the box to McAllister the way it did before he put the cross into Darwin Nunez, and one of the Forest players had gone down holding his head, pretending he was hurt, and at that point, Paul Tierney had blown the whistle and given the ball back to Nottingham Forest, and then they went down the other end and scored, Liverpool fans would be, there would be protests on the streets, there'd be all sorts. It was a shocking error. And it affects the title race. And also, Paul Tierney's been taken away from refereeing this weekend, but put on VAR for the Arsenal game. What sort of punishment is that? So you're so bad at refereeing, you made such a big mistake, we're not going to let you referee, we're going to let you supervise another referee in a position where, if anything, you need to understand the rules even more. Or what are we doing here? This is the most mental thing I've ever seen.
What do you make of it, Tom? Because obviously a lot of Liverpool fans earlier in the season said if we don't win the league, we can look back at the Spurs game and say that's where we lost it. Does this equal it out for you? Or do you think too much is being made of this? Do you think that there was too much time after being given the ball back for it to be inconsequential?
It was 2 minutes after the ball. They had they got the ball back 3 times. They kicked it out for a throw-in twice at a corner once. And a 4th time, didn't even kick it out. Let us tackle him on the edge of the box. Look, by the letter of the law, did Paul Tierney make the incorrect decision? Yes. It wasn't the reason we went up the other end and scored. It wasn't. That's the matter of fact. Does it balance out the Tottenham game? No. Not at all. Because us getting the ball back after a drop ball is not the same as us scoring a perfectly good goal and it getting ruled out because the VAR official didn't remember what the decision was on the field at the time, so gave the wrong one. They're not worth the same waiting. Did we get a bit lucky? Sure. You need a little bit of luck in these sort of things. It again just points to the crap standard of the refereeing, but nothing's going to change because nothing has changed this season. Ultimately, we got away with one. We saved our arses right at the end because we were not very good all game. But that's all that matters. I really do think there's been so much made out of this stuff. So much made out. There's interviews with refs and Mike Dean's having his piece and Clattenburg's back involved. Apparently he works for Forest now. You would think we robbed them. You would think we handballed it. We threw the ball into the goal the way the carry-on's been. The fact of the matter is, nothing couldn't clear the ball.
Tom, hand on heart.
Wait, but Tom, you know why though, Tom?
Hang on, guys, let Rory go, and I'll go to you after. Sorry.
If it happened the other way around, right, and Tierney did that where he gave Forest the ball back when you were on the attack and you had the ball, and 2 minutes later they scored and they won, are you honestly telling me you'd sit here and go, oh, well, it was just a bit of a mistake, it didn't change?
That's what I said. That's what I said, Rory. The irony from coming from a Liverpool fan is crazy, bro. It is crazy, bro. You lot would have been singing about it for 2 weeks.
Paul Tierney's home address, where his kids go to school, would be on the internet right now. Anything, literally, and this is what I would say. Right? I think it's a mistake. I agree with you. They could have cleared the ball and things along those lines. And I defended Liverpool. Where I do agree, though, is that if it was the other way around, there would be just as much noise. I don't think there's noise about this. I agree with what you're saying, Tom, that they had chances to clear it after that. I'm not changing my mind on that. But to say that there's only noise about it because it's Liverpool, you, man, would be making huge noise if it was the other way around, surely.
Would I be annoyed? Yeah. And the same way they said, a mistake was made and they've got a right to be annoyed. But ultimately, I would be pointing the finger at the fact that we would have had 4 separate chances to clear the football and my striker's trying to dribble it out on the edge of the box. Or my right back is trying to kick it out for a clearance and just boots it out for a throw-in instead.
I don't believe
So
you, Tom.
that's
I don't believe you.
That's unforgivable.
You know, I don't believe you because when you saw when you saw those penalties that should have been given against you guys, VAR, you literally went on Twitter and tweeted saying that they weren't penalties, bro. I don't believe you. Everything that you're saying right now, everyone's looking at you like this is Tom.
No, wait, but
no
Tom,
way.
you know what it is, though?
No way,
Hold on. Are you on about when we beat you 4-1?
when you beat us 4-1, when you
I've
beat us 4-1,
maintained.
both
I
of
have
those were penalties.
maintained. I have always said the Nkunku one was a pen.
You said the other one wasn't. You said the first one wasn't.
No,
One
because
of
the
them
first
said
one's not a
wasn't
pen.
penalty. They
The
were both
Gallagher one's
penalties.
not, but the Nkunku one is.
Ah, come on, Tom.
I'll
We're
give
not going to
you
get into that
the
game
Nkunku
again.
one.
We're not going to get into that game again. But they
But
were both penalties. You know
I'm
it
just
is,
trying to
Tom.
understand. I'm just trying again. What is the correlation between that and this? Because that didn't happen
Because-
2 minutes. There was
because-
2 minutes between this one.
Tom, if
No,
it
but-
had been against you lot, you would have had petitions for rematches and everything. You lot are
If it
still
was-
crying
That's my
about the
point.
Spurs game. They're the victims of everything, Liverpool. They cry
Right.
about everything. They take it to Parliament if something goes against them. So that's why it would be so different if it had gone like against you. We would never hear the end of it.
Exactly.
No,
That's my point.
but Tommy, do you know what it is, though, Tom? I think, look, the fact is that everybody feels that there is a bit of a slight conspiracy. It's Klopp's final season, and everybody wants the Disney Plus story. So if you're a City fan or if you're Rory and an Arsenal fan, you're like, wait, hang on. We're going to be looking very careful at all of these decisions being made after Klopp, because let's be real, the Premier League is a brand. And I think people feel like, you know what, maybe they want to try and engineer things to maybe get Klopp and Liverpool, because it would be the sexier story. The second story isn't freaking 4 in a row by Pep. The second story is Klopp's final season gives Liverpool their second ever Premier League title. So every decision is going to be looked at very, very carefully by City fans and Arsenal fans. So,
I mean, again, I refuse to believe that there's a conspiracy around trying to win us a title when I see some of the decisions that have won against us this season. But
Not since Klopp announced the retirement.
no, not since Klopp announced. I'm saying that ever since Klopp announced that this is his final season, forget everything before that. It's when Klopp said, this is going to be my final ever season, things have changed. So now Arsenal fans and City fans are like, okay, let's look at these refereeing decisions since Klopp has announced that this is going to be his last season. I don't say I believe it. I'm just that this conspiracy is out there.
What controversial ones would there be, though? Bar yesterday, what other controversial ones has there been where you go, oh, that's a right howler, that and this, that, and the other?
You could probably look back to the couple. You could probably go back and look at the couple of penalties that I want to say it was Chelsea should have conceded. You should have conceded. Chelsea should have had 2 penalties against you. Robertson smashing into his back and things like that. So I think there's been some off the top of my head. There's been some the Palace game as well. In that match. So I think there have been a couple, Tom, which again, I've called out because even I've defended Liverpool every bad decision you've had go against you this year, but I'll also call out the ones that go in your favour because I think we have to stand up against poor refereeing irrespective of who benefits. However, if there is a conspiracy to get you guys to win the league and it stops a 4-peat, I will be happy because then it stops. it will stop the most difficult record to ever be in the history of English football. And anyone that doesn't want that to be stopped, I think, is an absolute freak. I genuinely mean that. You're a freak if you want City to win the league over Liverpool or Arsenal. I think you're crazy. I think you're actually, I think your view of football in terms of what's important is warped to fuck. I genuinely mean that. It's great. It's all about trophies and records. Why do you want a team to achieve a record your club can't ever get to? That's a madness to me. It just doesn't even make sense.
Oh no, Terry, I'm with you. Like let's just be real. And let's just keep it a stack. For Chelsea, it is what it is. We've been hijacked by the Americans. It is what it is. There's an evil timeline and there's a good timeline. The evil timeline is Pep doing 4 in a row. That's the evil timeline. The good timeline is it's either been Liverpool or Arsenal. You see, people say, "Oh, you're a Chelsea fan. You say hate Arsenal." How can I hate a club who have 0 UCLs? How? So my thing is that fine. For me, Pep getting 4 in a row would be disastrous for the Premier League. That would be disastrous.
I'll tell you why. I'll give you a theory. I've got a conspiracy theory for in sport. I think they stopped Lewis Hamilton winning that title a few years ago. He'd won the most amount of titles ever, right? So what that does, it's a great moment. But then what does that mean the next year? The next year, no matter who wins it, it's an anticlimax. It's like, wait, you got one or he won it, but it might take 50 years now to get the excitement levels that high. But if you take it away from Lewis Hamilton, and then other youngsters and up and come and start winning trophies, he goes a few years without winning, the anticipation is there still. If City win that 4-peat, I almost feel like, yes, your team, you'll be happy if you win it the following year. But it's all about beating each other's records. It did that in the Premier League after United did the treble. For 2, 3, 4, it took until the Invincibles, like 5 years later, sorry, for there to be a real buzz back again. So listen, I'm not saying it's happening, but we've seen it happen in sport before. I want to go to some super chats here, people, because they're important. This comes from Morton, who says Ryan Yates starts outside about 15 meters, storms in and jumps from 5 meters with his foot straight out at head height. If he had hit Konate in the head, I dare not think what could have happened. And you are hung up on who got the ball. So he's saying even though there wasn't contact, it should have been a foul anyway.
Well, he's wrong. So there you
go. Firstly, happy birthday! Is it your birthday, Tom?
No.
It's Tom's birthday every day.
Well, happy birthday, Tom, man. Happy birthday, bro. How old?
Happy birthday, Tom. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Is it your birthday every day? Because every day when Astrid posts a new picture, you get an update. Is that what it is? Every day giving. Every day birthday. Thank you. Rory's spitting facts. Liverpool fans would riot all around. Tom ain't being honest. Mentality monsters. They see themselves as eternal victims. Come on, you gooners, is what Jason Martin says here.
The Arsenal fans, let's keep it real. The Arsenal fans spent all the aftermath of the game crying about the fact that we scored in the 98 plus 32 seconds. Like, they haven't done that multiple times already. So how could I'm all right? I mean, I hate that notion anyway, but Arsenal fans have spent everything crying about every little aspect of this goal we scored against Nottingham Forest. Everything. Apparently, they played over the time. There was this, there was that, there was this, there was that. Ultimately, did we get lucky? Yes. And I'll maintain that. We got a little bit lucky that the referee made the wrong call. Nottingham Forest should have just cleared the football and then the game's over. The game's done. Instead of trying to dribble it out on the edge of the box. I'd hate that if that was the team.
I mean, when you played Spurs, if you had 2 players that just didn't get themselves sent off, you'd have been all right, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, if we had a VAR official who just understood offside and
but both your red cards were red cards, weren't they?
No.
Yes, they were. They were red cards. That element. Yes, they were. 2 yellow cards.
The referees have come out and said the Jota one wasn't a red card.
There were 2 yellow cards.
The referees have come out and said Jota shouldn't have got a second yellow for that challenge.
The referees have also come out and said the mistake made by Paul Tierney is so egregious, it's unbelievable. So you believe in the referees on one but not the other?
Yeah, both were wrong, which is why I've said it. I said we got away with one. We got
one down. I'm just saying you sound a little bit hypocritical here, young Thomas, Mr. Wet.
That's crazy.
Terry, can we try to be objective here? Has any one of these people watched the game? In the first half, the ball was given to Forest. How about we talk about that? Well, look, this is the thing. I personally didn't see that happen, so maybe it did. But if a goal had have come from it, I'm sure we'd be talking about it. So, and it's in the dying moments of the game. They were on the attack, but it's a fair point. Liverpool make up for 20% of all bad VAR decisions. Caicedo went to Chelsea for one reason. They are gonna have to hold that. Nottingham Forest can cry all the best, is what Jack Howe says here. 58 games unbeaten for Rodri. Yes, it is 58 games unbeaten for him. Thank you. Kate's OnlyFans page is top class, Terry. I love it. That's from your husband, by the way, everyone. Just so everyone knows, that's her husband that said that. Do you have an OnlyFans, Kate? Is it like you and Jimbo together?
No, it definitely is not. Honestly, it's just so embarrassing. I don't know why he comes on here.
Go on, Jim. It's funny. He has you on there so he can sit there on OnlyFans. And you're not looking over his shoulder. That's what it is. Let's have a look at some more of these super chats. You're telling me, Tierney says, yeah, Liverpool will score this now on that call. One clearance on that play from Nottingham Forest, and the fairy tale is over. Come on. What do you say to that, Rory?
It's these small decisions can lead to bigger things, and it's not only the fact he might not have known that Liverpool were going to go up the other end and score, but he would have known that it meant that Nottingham Forest weren't going to get themselves a winner because they were beginning to build a little bit of momentum themselves. So, you know, like I actually genuinely think he just made a mistake. I don't actually think there's a conspiracy.
Yeah. He did make a mistake,
It's just,
and
it is a big mistake.
And if any of us conceded a goal like that after that moment, we'd all be complaining. So, but there we go. Every fan would defend or rage about the ball. Listen, I hear you on that, but as I said before, we should be coming out and condemning bad decisions even when they benefit us. It's the only way to fix refereeing. But that's never, ever, ever, ever going to happen. I remember Liverpool fans, like Rebecca, if you're watching, hope you're good, Rebecca Arnold, saying all fans need to come together in these moments. I said, but I bet you won't when it benefits Liverpool. She went, I will. And I remember that a week or two later, one benefited her. I said, where's your tweet? She went, yeah, I'm shameless. And that's just the way fans typically are. So we're all terrible. Tom and Astrid on Straight Facts. Book it.
Oh, not a chance.
Loves it. Jota's first wasn't even a free kick, Terry, versus Spurs. I think it was, but there we go. Liking the beard growth, Staffy. Yeah, it's looking good, bruv. Getting them beard oils in.
Thank you. Yes, I did tell him I'm buying a beard kit, so it arrived a few days ago. So give me a couple months. I'll probably look like you.
It's because Ryan Yates, Kanate goes down. He doesn't hit properly, though, but grazes his head.
He didn't. He was nowhere near him. There's another angle of it where he was about that far away from him.
There we go. I haven't seen that angle. Who remembers the Spurs robbery and Arsenal handball against Liverpool? But Liverpool wins, got everyone shaking. Let's go.